I've been going to bed really early because I've been getting up really early because the new curtains in my new bedroom are too short. And we don't have a bed frame. We just have a mattress, which is on the floor.
Oh, no.
So every morning I'm woken up as soon as the sun comes up. It's just light in my eyes. And I wake up at like 6 a.m. I've managed to stay
At least you have curtains.
Well, yeah, we got curtains in. But, oh my God, I don't wake up early normally. And I'm like having a nap at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. No one from my work.
You've reverted to toddler state.
Not on a work day, of course, to all of my work colleagues who are listening to this podcast.
Can I make an observation?
Yes.
I look at you now and I feel like you're a dude that gets up at 10.
I'm not a 10 o'clocker, right? I'm not coming out here saying I'm actually normally, I'd say 8:30 is the time.
Okay, yeah, that's normal.
Gives you because I work from home these days, so that gives you half an hour to get ready for work. In the old days, I'd get up at about 7:30, give me time to get ready and then commute to work.
Wow, okay, all right.
But I didn't enjoy it. I didn't enjoy it though. And I don't enjoy this. Either.
I think it's your long hair, man. I'm like,
Keeps
this guy's
you awake.
chill.
Oh, it's the
This
chill.
guy's chill.
Yeah, I've even got the top knot at the moment because it's too long, and I need to go to a hairdresser. You'll see me with when I've had my hair cut, and you'll be like, "Wow, your hair's still really long," because I didn't get it cut at all.
I was gonna say, I used to be a half 8er, and then I had a baby, so now I'm a half 5er.
Yeah, I imagine.
I was going to say, Hamish and I can both be seen loitering on the Discord at 6:30 while the kids are
I actually sit there and think, has Simon got to get up really early for work? Or is his kid waking him up as well?
I get up at 6 for work because I start work at 8 and I like to be up and ready. I'm one of those people that I like to sit and eat breakfast without rushing and, take my time.
I can tell you're a very organised gentleman. Like, you're up and you're getting your stuff together.
Someone needs to.
It's the mustache. You're sitting there going, right, I've got to get this mustache ready for work. I've got to get up at 6 for this and really work on this mustache.
The idea of getting up and like having, I can't remember the last time I sat down and ate breakfast. I just eat breakfast on the go, and then I eat breakfast at my desk as I'm like doing my emails in the morning.
I don't eat breakfast, man.
And the first thing I do when I wake up is have an espresso. Then I eat breakfast just to get me.
I have a bottle of juice near the side of my bed, and
that's quite good.
The first thing I do is just when I hear Freya kick off, is just like, oh man, blah blah. Right, here we go. Daddy, here we go.
It's getting you 5 a day. It's great.
Once more into the breach, dear friends.
Speaking of drinks, should we do
oh man,
Love that
segue. Love that segue.
Mm-hmm.
I want Hamish to talk up first because I see something different in his hands there. This isn't the normal. This isn't the normal drink for Hamish. Come on, what have you got?
Okay, so guys, I'm going back to episode 1. Right, episode 1. I smashed open a JD and whiskey. JD whiskey and honey, sorry, and I went for it, right. And this time, it's back, but I've added cloudy lemonade to this, and it is superb. It is amazing. I love it. So JD honey.
So honey and cloudy lemonade.
Yeah.
Honey and lemonade. It's like what you drink before you go to bed, just to give you a good night's sleep, right? Like
there.
Honey and lemon.
Hopefully, Hopefully, I won't be spinning like I was last time.
Yeah, remember that?
I do. It was horrible. Well, what about you? I'll tell you what, Tripp. For the last two drinks, Tripp, right?
I always go last.
Big sip, Tripp.
You go last because you're a wild card, pure wild card. All right, Simon. What about you? What are you having? Some Brewdog.
I've gone to the dark side. In honor of Monarch, I've gone for some Shadow. No, it's called Layer Cake. It's a marshmallow and chocolate stout.
What?
7%. It is beautiful.
Wow. I've noticed your percentages are going up. I've just found this lager. It's 10%, boys.
So you're not.
Tripp looks like he's enjoyed
Tripp,
Layer Cake before.
You're not going to believe
Tripp,
this. You're not going to believe this.
He's gone to the dark side too.
I've got Layer Cake as well. Because I was like, cheers, yeah. Because last time there was a lot of chat about my drink choice post podcast, and
that's amazing.
People judging, no, in a nice way, So I thought I'd go out
well.
and get a classy drink like Simon drinks. And lo and behold, he's drinking the same drink. I was like, I'll get some Brewdog because that's what Simon always has.
Oh, but Tripp, I was loving this little trend that you're going on. I thought,
You can't be.
It's like Bam Margera. What is he going to drink next?
You can't be chaotic neutral if you're predictable. So sometimes you just got to go for the, what was the?
I like your style.
It was the last thing you would have expected is the exact same drink that Simon's drinking, wouldn't you?
That's true. Very true.
The last thing.
I expect vodka in a bucket. In a kid's sand bucket.
Before I had this beer, I had a cloudy lemon Thatcher's. So if you want some spice, I guess that's the spiciest.
Oh yeah, no,
He's
that's
on
good.
the sweet stuff tonight.
Welcome to episode 4, everyone. Push the point, where we are going to be discussing the amazing time I'm sure we've all had with pulling cards. But I'm not going to sit here and tell you what we're going to talk about because. That's not what I do. That's not what I'm here for. That's what Simon is here for. Simon.
That's my job.
About? Yeah, it is. Simon, what are we doing?
We are going to have a bit of self-indulgence to start the podcast off with a recap of some of our highlights from box openings. Mm-hmm. We're going to move on. We've got an awesome interview with one of our very good game store owner friends who has been very kind to speak with us this week. We've got our usual spot for Fyendal's library and the wonderful Dan Tripp's voice in there.
Thanks, everyone.
And then we just want to cover some of the comments that we got back from our last episode 3 and looking at some of the issues with legendary cards and the cold foil legendaries that we've heard. And we might just chuck in some data at the end there. I know some people within the UK community have been collecting some data on box openings and how we've all been doing, and we might just chuck some of that in there for reference.
Cool. So, come on, boys. Let's flex.
Yeah, who wants to start? That's the thing. I think Simon should start. He's got the cards in his hand, apparently. I'm just seeing him show them.
So, before we crack on just a little bit of this, if you're watching this on YouTube right now, and you probably already noticed, right, that you are experiencing some pack openings as we are talking. So what's kindly happened is the community has really, really kindly been sending us videos of them cracking open their Monarch First Edition boxes. So we've also got a bit of feedback that seeing things on YouTube while listening to people kind of helps you be able to listen to us. If you're just seeing a picture, it's like listening to the radio. Sometimes you tune out. So here you go. Here's us opening cards. Hopefully that'll keep you engaged and listening. We'll see what happens. If it works, let us know. If you don't like it, well, tell us. Otherwise, we'll keep doing it. Anyway, there you go. You probably already saw it. So, Simon, what have you got?
So, I would say I have been the least lucky of the three of us here so far. Fortunately, I've got some more boxes to open. So, I'm not counting my chickens.
How many boxes have you opened so far?
So, a combined total equivalent of 8 boxes. So, 7 boxes plus 4 pre-releases.
Okay, it's kind of weird when you actually do the pre-releases and you're getting your 6 packs in different ways.
Yeah,
you could say that adds up to a total of a box, but I think we all know that the way that you kind of get those cards, it really doesn't add up to a box from seeing the pattern of how these boxes kind of work out for cold foils and such. But yeah, I see what you mean.
So I'm going to talk about my pre-release packs because actually, like, the boxes are super fun to open, but I think you guys have had more success from the boxes than I have. And again, my box openings have been a mixture of, as with most people, a mixture of a couple of boxes from this shop and a couple of boxes from that shop. So I've not actually sat and opened a whole case. But my pre-releases, which is an even, as you've mentioned, even stranger sampling of cards, because you could get absolutely nothing or you could hit big. In my first pre-release, I got a grand total of like 1 or 2 normal Majestics, and I didn't do very well in that. And then my second, I got a Cold Foil Eclipse Legendary out of 6 packs.
Lovely.
Just, when you're sat there holding it and you're like, I don't know what to do with this. I'm just going to put this to one side.
I know the feeling.
And not touch it and just put it away.
I've noticed. I tell you what, out of all the cards, I know I'm jumping a little bit ahead, but I really have not seen a lot of Eclipse. Like, generally, have not seen many Eclipses at all.
Yeah, I think some people are saying they may be seeing more of the legendary instants than the legendary equipment, which I've seen a lot more Doomsday than I've seen Eclipse, I must say.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, same.
However, in the pre-release that I pulled this Eclipse, someone else in the same pre-release also pulled an Eclipse, so there were 2 from the same case, which is pretty crazy.
That's mad.
That's bad.
Well, that does happen. That does happen.
It does, but 2 of the same legendary. It was pretty cool. In my third pre-release, I pulled a Cold Foil Luminaris, which is an extremely pretty card, I must admit. And in the next pack, I pulled a non-foil Luminaris, so that was quite nice. I went with Prism, as you might expect.
Yeah.
And then my final pre-release, I managed to pull a Cold Foil Common Ironhide Legs. So 4 pre-releases, 3 cold foils. I have had ridiculous luck with those, and I am very grateful to all 4 shops that sent me packs. Thank you very much.
Lovely. So, your boxes, or are we doing the pre-releases each?
So I was no. I was going to talk about my pre-releases just because I was going to leave the big boys boxes to you two,
right.
because I think you've both.
I was going to say that my pre-releases,
I'm the odd one out
I got
here.
nothing. Oh no, so my pre-releases didn't fit. I think I got a grand total of 2, which is cool. I'm happy with, but I got 2 rainbow foil Majestics, which was ironically and weirdly the Arclight Sentinel, which is like, hiya, here's some Prism.
Nice.
Like, hey, thanks.
Yeah.
That's going somewhere else because I don't want Prism, but but it's cool that I got it. So that's my pre-releases.
Yeah, and in my pre-release, the first pack of Monarch that I opened, I got an Eclipse, which was pretty crazy.
Nice.
And then I had 2 other pre-releases which were just normal. Got a couple of M's, which was nice, and then I pulled a Cold Foil Dreamweavers, which is the common for Illusionist, which is a really nice looking card as well. So I was very happy with that card too. Yeah, but nothing super crazy apart from the Eclipse was pretty nuts. I was just like, I can't believe this.
I think the most actually exciting card I got was Tear Limb from Limb. That's because I play Rhinar. So I was just like, out of all the shiny stuff I got, I was like, this is the best thing I've seen. And I can't play it.
It is nuts. I just got absolutely destroyed by that card in a Blitz tournament this evening. Yeah. So.
I've pulled 2 foil versions of that card now. And again, in a Rhinar deck. Yeah, right, we sort that out later. In a Rhinar deck So Tripp and I have just come from playing in our first Monarch legal Blitz Armory event, and we both got beaten by the same brute player. Thank you very much, Jack. Appreciate that. And it turns out that Pulping and Tear Limb from Limb are very good cards.
They're really strong, especially in Blitz.
Very strong cards.
Just so bursty, and you're just like, geez, I have no health left.
Well,
Pulping gives you dominate and go again.
Oh, is it Tear Limb from Limb into Pulping? Oh, because that's a 12. That's a 12 damage dominate with go again, baby.
Exactly.
Or more if they discard. Oh God, is it Alpha Rampage? It's got the like 8 damage or something like that.
Oh, 9 damage. So coming in for 18.
Yeah, that happened to me.
Oh my!
Oh my! It was a tricky evening. If I sound tired, it's because I've just been beaten up by a brute multiple times.
All right.
So yeah, it's interesting to see old heroes, and we might come back to this in a future episode. Old heroes doing better in the new meta.
I'd love to talk about that. But Tripp, what did the pack gods deliver to you?
I got some pretty good pulls. So in total, I got 3 legendary cards, which was an Eclipse.
How many boxes? Sorry,
6 boxes and 4 pre-releases. So let's say 7 boxes. I know we said we wouldn't do that, but I'll say 7 boxes. I got 3 legendaries, which was an Eclipse and 2 Doomsdays. got about 5 cold foil commons, I believe, and I almost got all of the like unique hero or like the class cold foil commons. So I'm going to see if I can get the Runeblade one, because I managed to get the warrior, the illusionist, and the brute one, which is pretty cool. But in my last box, I did manage to pull the Fabled, which was absolutely crazy. And this was a box that I was not expecting to get. No, sorry, actually, this box was from Trinity Card Capital. That was a different box I was thinking. So Trinity Card Capital, which is the tournament we just played in tonight. Huge thanks to them for selling me that box. I only got one from them. And I was like, yeah, it almost got lost in Royal Mail redirect because I've just moved house. So it was stuck at a delivery office in Whitechapel for like a week, just sitting there. And I went to collect it.
Oh my God.
And it had the Fable in it. And it was crazy. Like, you hear people saying like that your like hands are shaking and stuff. And like, literally it was like, I can't believe this has happened. I just couldn't believe it. And like, I really wanted that card because obviously I have the whole Fyendal's library thing with the channel, and it was just like, it would be really cool to get that card, and pulling it. It's just crazy. You just don't expect it at all, and the chances are so low. And so amazing boxes. And getting a Fabled out of 6 boxes is pretty cool. So very happy with that.
So how can you beat that, Hamish?
I wonder.
So one of our lovely community members, Shingo, or Sharif Shaban, who we've spoken to before, friend of the podcast.
Oh, Shingo.
Has been putting together some data for us, and people have been voluntarily submitting their boxes opened and their pull numbers, and it turns out that on our luck scale, Hamish is top of the pile. Tell us why, Hamish.
It was pretty insane. So I got a case from Manascrew, courtesy of Mark, which absolute amazing shout out to him. Like, the fact that when I said to him when we were back in the last episode we talked about, we did the Arcane Rising Sealed, that I spoke to him and said, I really love this game, and when the new set comes out, I will want to get a case from you. And he went, okay, I'll make sure they got that done. And he honoured that agreement, and he said, it doesn't matter what allocations I get, I will honour you that case, because I said I would. So I was just like blown away that didn't matter what happened, he was going to do that for me. And so I got a case from him, and I got a box from Top Decking in Milton Keynes for being a part of their pre-release event. So they gave me the opportunity to buy a box from them. And then I drove all the way to their store because I'm a massively impatient man. And they also had a box of first edition on the side of their counter, and they said we're going to limit this to 6 packs per person in the store. So me and Steve-O from Little House Gaming just picked up 6 packs. So in total, I got 5 boxes, a random 6-pack, and 3 pre-releases. Like I said, the 3 pre-releases were, they're okay. So the 6 packs netted me a cold full common, which was just like, okay, that's nuts. It was the Halo. That's a brilliant start.
So nice looking as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And my friend Steve was like, fuck it, I don't want to open these packs anymore. So we opened them up. I actually think he got the Luminary Ascension alt art card, and at the time we were like, that's all right. But you got the cold foil, Hamish. I was like, oh, how lucky am I? But we'll probably talk about this later on in the episode about why that alt art Luminary Ascension is absolute gold. But anyway, so I opened up my case from Manuscript. I had in total from the case, I pulled a Gallantry Gold of Box 1 cold foil, and I generally thought, this is going to be I don't know, my mood was like, this is not going to be a very good case. So I was like, this is probably not going to be very good. And by the way, I'm going to give one more shout out to Brandon from Techlo Cards. He sat down and watched this absolute wild journey all the way through. And guys, the guy's an absolute sound dude, and I'm sure you probably see him, entering all of your pack openings. He's there, but he was sitting there with me, and he was an absolute gem of a man. So go check out his single store. Anyway, so Gallantry Gold, open that up, and then the next card I opened up was a Vestige of Soul. I was like, oh, wow, okay, this is nuts. And then I opened up a Cold Foil Dreamweavers in the same box.
Yeah. So
Okay, that's insane. Box 3, it was all right. It didn't net that much, apart from this fabled library.
Not much though, mate. Not much.
I was blown away, and then like Tripp said, I was shaking. Like,
Yeah.
And then Simon, you jumped in and was like, "How's your thing going on?" I'm like, "Oh, I got Vestige of Soul, and I got these Dreamweavers." And he's like, "Oh, well done. I'm gonna go to my event." And then you just missed me open up the Fable flipping thing. And then box 4. I think box 4 got me another. Oh god, because I've actually done some trades.
Didn't you get the Phantasmal Footsteps?
What's that?
Didn't you get the second? You got the second legendary, didn't you? The Phantasmal.
Oh no,
Footsteps.
I got the Prism Footsteps in the last box, and I was like, Jesus Christ, I've got 2 legendaries, the Fabled, and I've got a Cold Foil common, and then the last box from Top Deck In gave me another Vestige of Soul and the Cold Foil Raiden. So I got 3 legendary.
Jeez.
I've been
It's
5
absolutely
boxes.
crazy.
It's insane. 5 boxes. I got 3 legendary cold foils, a fabled, and 2 cold foil commons, and a random 6-pack got me another cold foil common.
That's insane.
It was just like, oh, and then for some reason I came out of that thinking, like, well, I suppose maybe the drop rate has just changed quite a lot, and maybe now cold foils are just there for everyone. Because I think when you kind of,
no, and
then you look at the
you.
data. No, it's just me.
Yeah, so many
No, but
people
when
out
you're
there
hearing the
with rubbish
pre-releases,
boxes.
but when you hear the pre-releases and you hear some guys hear it's the weird thing, isn't it? When you look at social media and you see and you think everyone and their nan has got a flipping a great library of Solana, but it isn't. It's social media, like 100%.
There's lots of publication bias, isn't there? And
Yeah.
people
absolutely.
who pull well post, and people who don't pull well don't post. And what I would say, just as coming to wrap some of this stuff up, is we're talking about this. We've each opened 5, 6, 7 boxes. We are very fortunate to be able to open those boxes and to be able to play in these pre-release events. And to a T, all 3 of us, the only reason we've been able to open so many of these boxes is because we've been in the game since an early stage, and we've built relationships with our local game stores and the game stores that we play events with online. And we've been very lucky that they have all honoured their pre-orders at retail price and not market price. So I just want to give a shout out. We've already mentioned Manascrew, Trinity Card Capital, my locals, Underworld Games in Nottingham, Boards and Sword Hobbies in Derby, Kingdom Gaming in Northampton, Top Deck In Milton Keynes. These are all the guys that have been so good to the community. I'm forgetting people, and I'm really sorry.
To be honest, there's going to be so many stores, right, that we probably that has supplied you. It's hats off to them.
And I know the community is grateful for the amount of work these guys have put in. And the amount of flack they've taken as well from allocations is just, it's horrendous. And I don't think it's coming from all of the community. But yeah, just know from us, a big thank you. And we as a community hope to be able to show our appreciation for that just by turning up to the events, being there at in-store events when things kick off, and giving something back to you guys who have sorted us out over the last couple of weeks.
Absolutely.
So thank you.
And if you want to pull a Fabled, just go and Push the Point podcast, and you've got
Yeah.
a 2 out of 3 chance, basically.
All right.
Oh,
It would be so
Simon,
good if
that's
you
out
got
now.
one, Simon. We could all hold them up at the same time and just like show them up on the screen.
I feel.
I may have a couple more boxes to open.
you
so
got,
I'll
you got a
hopefully,
perfectly good chance of getting one. So.
I'll hopefully update you next time.
I am going to just give a very, very small shout out to James Berham, who is a very, very, very top lad. Because I've traded it up now quite a few of my cold foils. James Berham, I gave a good trade to you, and Brandon from Techno Cards, I straight away did a trade with you. So now I'm very happy. I've traded up some stuff, and I've got a Valiant Dynamo, Who's of Shadow Beast, Carrion Husk, and a Dread Scythe. So I've traded it up. So I've now feel generally now I don't want to open any more boxes up. I have achieved. I'm done. I've achieved what I've overachieved what I ever expected I was going to get.
I mean, I literally have no more boxes to open, but I'm not going to go out and buy anymore. There was a point
Hamish,
where
you seem to have a very lovely playmat as well.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm sure one of those cold foil cards that I just mentioned, plus a rainbow foil Genesis, is oh god, don't no. Oh my god. Right, okay, guys, I'm just gonna throw this out here. Right, you know how for the last 3 episodes I've been sitting there saying fuck, like, you know, I'm a shadow boy. Well, when you open up the worst, well, I was being quite funny. I've actually, weirdly enough, I had some people give me some pretty weird flack on social media. I made a pretty weird joke saying the worst shadow boxes ever, and said, oh, look at all these cards. It may have sounded like a bit disingenuous, and he didn't want to come across that way. But if you were a shadow player, I mean, when you got every cold foil card that was light and nothing really of shadow, you could technically say that was the worst shadow box you could ever get. So I listened to the cold foil random gods, and I probably won't be playing a shadow character now, because I think these boxes have told me I don't think you should be doing that, mate. Even though I have got some equipment here now, so I'm actually going to take up Bolton rather than working on Levia, and Simon's going to trade me up a awesome mat so that I can be able to use Bolton on a really cool mat. So after all of that.
You're welcome.
After all of that, I'm playing Bolton.
What I think we want to do now is, having talked about our awesome game stores in our community, we're going to just cut to Hamish, who's been busy bee this week doing an interview with Mark Horn from Manascrew Gaming in Northampton.
One of the coolest and long-standing card game stores in our local area of Northamptonshire and around Milton Keynes. We've got Mark Horn from Manascrew.
Good evening, guys. How are we doing?
Yeah, all good. It was really awesome because we just come out of a Blitz event yesterday, so it was a Monday, on the 10th of May, and yeah, it was I'd say a very, very well run event.
Yeah, I've thoroughly enjoyed doing some of the online events for the various different bits with the Blitz events that we did, of course, with the skirmish back on the 28th of March, and then we've done a couple of sealed, including one where I fantastically went another 0-3. There is, it's a well worked bottom of the UK leaderboard. If people want to go and have a look at that, my name is on there, as Mehmet keeps reminding us. On a regular basis.
And is Mehmet one of your Flesh and Blood locals to the store?
Indeed. There's a little story that will come out from regarding Mehmet and the link towards Flesh and Blood, but we'll save that for a little later.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've got just got a couple of things that I wanted to capture the essence of what it takes for a local gaming store to, when they're going through this process of Flesh and Blood, right? Because I think a lot of podcasts, including ourselves as well, we really do. We take a lot of voice from players, and players that have done very well in tournaments, and I think it is really great. But none of this can really happen if it isn't for guys like yourself that put on these events for us to get good at, right? So I wanted to really capture what it takes to be a local gaming store in the UK, basically.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so one of the things I did want to ask is, what is your favourite part of owning a gaming store?
Well, the textbook answer for the listeners, of course, which actually is the real reason, is the people.
Yeah.
Meeting people, whether it's the new people, whether it's the regulars, whether it's the occasionals, people that have an active interest in what we do, They share the passions that we have with all this stuff that we do, and I think that's probably my favourite part of being involved in the gaming store.
Yeah, and this is about you, but I feel that your passion as well, as someone that also runs a local gaming club in the Northamptonshire area, that yeah, doing this is definitely a community driven focus, right?
Yeah, sure thing. It's getting to know the people behind the game playing and the likes. The stories about Auntie Ethel and various important bits to them become part and parcel of what the community is, alongside the games, the rules, and the bits that we deal with.
Yeah. So another thing I wanted to ask is, which is, I think this is probably a pretty interesting thing overall. But what made you want to invest into Flesh and Blood, and what decision points do you make to invest in a new game overall? So we'll just start. I think it'll be interesting to start off with, what does it take for you to look at a brand new game and say, you know what, I'm going to throw in on this.
Well, there's a simple one-word answer to this one, and we've already brought this gentleman up before, but the answer was Mehmet.
So Mehmet brings all the games in.
Indeed. Mehmet is responsible for me playing a lot of these games, getting involved in a lot of these things. It kind of stretches back, if we're going on story time a little bit with this, to, I think, August of last year. Flesh and Blood came about in Northampton because Mehmet bought me the 4 starter decks.
All right.
So from that stage, and actually very, very interestingly on this, and this is where you come into this as well, Hamish, was
Really?
the day that you, yes, indeed, the day that you showed up was the first day that me and him were sitting, socially distanced, of course, having a go with these starter decks. And I got up from the table, wandered off back down to the store area. You sat down, you played probably for about 10 minutes with Mehmet, and I turned up again. Yeah, and Mehmet goes, he's better than you. And then somebody else turned up later on, and they played the game, and Mehmet again went, he's better than you. And this was a continuous thing from then onwards. And he's right, because we're back to those leaderboard things again. So
the thing is, I remember that. I do remember when I first came in, and I tell you what, this is probably not the most. I don't know. I probably might edit this a little bit out, but I remember talking to you when we very first got this demo, and I remember saying, "Mate, don't get into another TCG. I'll just come out one and it dies. Go get Sky Tier."
No.
Look at where we are.
I can feel Mehmet scowling at this whole thing at the moment and getting a little bit het up about this. But no, that's it's kind of worked out, I suppose, as it goes. And we're the follow up to this though as well, which just again put this in further perspective. It wasn't just those 4 starter decks, because actually Mehmet then showed up a couple of weeks later with 4 cases of product that he'd bought. And he goes, do you want any of this? So discussions were had, and I ended up with a couple of cases of this, of course, being the Alpha, Welcome to Wraith, and the Alpha Arcane Rising that we'd picked up. And later on, we ended up with some Crucible. And, we're cracking packs for fun at this stage.
Back when Flesh and Blood was they were just Flesh and Blood boxes, right?
Yeah. Well, Europe didn't actually get the distribution for this until the end of October, and we were actually running events in store from September onwards. And I was getting to meet some of the UK scene prior to any of the events and things that came later. Yeah.
So I think one of the things that first, that was how you got into Flesh and Blood. But what made you choose I think one of the things I was hoping to sort of get is, like, you've had to look at you've got Magic the Gathering, you've got Yu-Gi-Oh, and you've got Pokemon, right? And when you expand on from that, what does it take for you to choose to go, I'm going to throw in here, I'm going to throw my money into getting into this stuff? And I suppose, what, apart from Mehmet showing you off the game, which is an amazing story, but what made you'd go, I'm going to throw in and buy this stuff up, with really no idea if anyone's going to buy this stuff from you.
Mm-hmm. Well, again, and we'll quote Mehmet on this one. It was the multiple formats that were involved in this game. So the fact that we could play this with a slightly smaller deck with the Blitz, and then there's Classic Constructed with the 60 cards. Mehmet mentioned about multiplayer, because Commander for Magic the Gathering is a big thing here at Manascrew with the singles. And then, of course, having 24 packs in a box, you've got straight access to an 8-player pod for drafting, or just knocking together 4 of you where you've got sealed. And all of these things combined were like, this is ticking boxes, is this? So this is something that we want to look into and do a little bit more with.
Fantastic. So I was wondering whether actually if this stuff sells is something that helps stores be able to invest into it, or I take it in your case it was just because the product was decent.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we like to play the games here. I don't actually deal with anything that I haven't played and that I haven't got into. So that's been one of the things at Manascrew that we're keen to do. And with Mehmet buying me this stuff, getting me into this, there we go. We're playing it. We're into it already. So this was another selling point. And if we get behind it and we are able to push this product, we're able to get players enthused about it, then they get their mates into it. And then their mates bring more people along, and before we know it, you have a community. And that's exactly what your club on the Tuesdays was about. I'm sure when you first got going all those years ago, that it just rattled on, got more people coming through. Before you know it, you've 40, 50 people on a regular basis.
Yeah, it's whenever any game really, I suppose, that you're starting anything off, whenever you invest into anything, you to expect instant results is probably something you shouldn't expect. It's every game starts as a slow burn, right, and then in the end, momentum of that just takes hold.
I have 25 years of Magic the Gathering singles, going back to Ice Age, which a lot of the stuff I've got has been in more recent times. So probably from the last 10 years that I've got a lot more of the singles. But it takes time. Nothing's built in. Rome isn't built in the day, as the saying goes, and it's small term, short term gains that are had at the expense of the potential to really build something. I'm not for that. That's not what we're about, and it's not what communities are about. It's a long term process.
Yeah, and I suppose really that's probably it was awesome really that when we heard that you were going to invest into Flesh and Blood. Big shout out to Mehmet for bringing that game to you and really selling it to you for you to invest in. And then just because we knew that you were investing into it, and Team Covenant got the word out for most of us locally, and then that it starts off with 2 or 3, right? Then you suddenly got 4. Now you've got you go 6 and then so on.
It was the lads coming down from Nottingham. It was somebody coming up from Uxbridge that was starting to build the local scene. This would be in, again, September, October of last year. And
when we did the sealed Arcane Rising event.
Yeah, all of that kind of stuff. But now, and intro games and things that we did, and members of the local community getting behind it and playing games.
Fantastic. So, one of the other things I wanted to ask is, what have you seen from the community so far that makes Flesh and Blood stand out from the other games that you, with the other games that you put out?
Well, clearly we see a lot of friendliness and positivity in all the games that we deal with. But Flesh and Blood, given that it was a new game, that it was something that people were jumping on board with, this eagerness for something new, possibly dropping some of the other games, possibly picking this up as a second game. But over time, and certainly with a bunch of the events that we've been doing online, this positivity from the players, and again, this is encapsulated in a little card that we got from a Legend Story the other day, which, if I can quote this directly from the card, it says, "Thank you for opening your doors day after day, so that people may come together to play great games." Now, when you've got a company that is sending things out, is the organized play support, the access to being able to talk to people directly, Alan Hale with the OP email, this is something that again ticks the boxes.
Oh, fantastic! That's brilliant to hear. But one of the last things I wanted to ask is, what's some of the harder things about running a local game store? Just in general.
Probably the hours, if I'm brutally honest with this, and if we've got other game store owners that are sitting listening to this, they'll be nodding heads. Previous work I've done, I could do fairly long hours, but certainly from next week onwards, from the May the 17th when we reopen again, if I'm looking at less than 12 hours each day for the next however long it's going to be, then that's going to be the state of play, which starts to take its toll. Yesterday, for example, getting in for orders, getting things ready with the store, for then only opening for 6 hours between 12 and 6, but then after that we had the webcam event where we had 16 players join us for a blitz event, and by the end of the day, I've managed to clock in for another 14 and a half hours. That was all of yesterday's gameplay. Today, not quite as long. I was probably in 7:45 in the morning, and now it's 20 to 8 now. So we've done the 12 hours ticked off, and I've got orders and a few other things still to get going. So it's it was my choice clearly to be doing this, but that's one of the downsides, I suppose, that's involved.
Just long hours, and COVID is obviously just been affecting pretty much most local businesses in general. For a store that is trying to drive to get people to come and meet up and be a community in your store, it's you couldn't think of anything quite so hard, I suppose.
This whole process. Sorry to cut across there, but this whole process, there is a shout out, and it's very much to the local community. Again, we're on a textbook answer for the listeners, but we have been supported fantastically over the last 14 months, as has been. I didn't do anything with postage for Royal Mail. I did it all myself. We set up a website, which get a little plug in for that one, manascrew.co.uk, which on a Saturday, the shortest distance we managed was 130 miles, and then there was there was that Friday of the 52 drops covering 253 miles within the locality, which was a Magic the Gathering release largely, but support from the local community was absolutely fantastic. Could not ask for more on that one. But I suppose another one of those little bit of a difficult one to crack on with and continue the business, given that we are largely events and getting bums on seats within the venue.
Absolutely. I mean, it's just a testament, really, of how much you really, really do want to support the people in the Northamptonshire area, for sure, and potentially that's the fringes of the other counties in Northamptonshire. So hats off to you, man. And you can tell, really, because there's so many people in our local community that just praise the fact that you are here, supplying all the necessary goods of our card crack addiction. So thank you so much.
Yeah, no bother. It's all good fun. It's all good fun.
But honestly, Mark, thank you so much for joining in on this podcast, and really just chipping in to show us just a bit of a light, really, of what it's like to run a local gaming store in especially in our area, really. I'd say, I'll quote you, Mark, as well. There's been many times I've been trying to sit there and think, you know what, shall we, I really want to get more people down over getting stuff from you. And I remember you saying, no, I'm not about trying to get everyone to come to me. I want everyone to go to their local. I want the locals to come to me, and I want other people in different areas to go to their locals. And I thought that was really profound.
Yeah, it is actually. If on this one, without again stretching this out too long, but it's the local group, the local play. I feel strongly that if you are supporting your local place and the player base builds, we've got something for the longer term. Most definite.
Brilliant. Well, I'll leave it on that. Thank you so much, Mark.
No bother.
Cheers.
What an awesome interview.
Honestly, I thought that interview was. I was listening to it. Hamish sent it to us before we recorded the podcast. And I thought it was really, really interesting, and a huge thanks to Mark for allowing himself to be interviewed and telling us about his experience with Flesh and Blood. But I think Simon has something he wants to. Well, something that we as a podcast want to talk to our audience about, don't we?
Huh? I don't know anything about this. What's going on?
We're giving everything you own away.
No way. Really? Okay.
So, we're on episode 4 right now, and we're all about the community. We want to give something back to the community, and we've already spoken about our amazing game stores, one of whom, Living Realms, based in Castleford.
Amazing.
Have offered to help us out with a bit of a giveaway. So I want to thank Fabio at Living Realms and all the staff there, because they have had commissioned some unique playmats with an incredible artist, and they've been giving those playmats away to people who ordered a case of Monarch First Edition or Monarch Unlimited, and they've offered to give us one to the podcast to give away to one of our listeners.
Oh my god. Can I have it? I'll subscribe.
You cannot have it.
This mat it's a really, it's a really good mat. Like, honestly really good. Like, I use it and I've been using it for loads of stuff, and it just looks fantastic. Like, the quality, and the artist is a Flesh and Blood artist. Like, he's done card art and some really good cards, actually. Some of the best art from the game itself, and it's really, really good. Like, honestly, I love it. I got one for pre-ordering, and I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, go. I think if Living Realms haven't got the playmat on their store somewhere, you could easily find it if you wanted to have a check out on Facebook.
Yeah, they've published it on Facebook on their store, so go and take a look. But obviously, with any YouTube giveaway, it wouldn't be a YouTube giveaway without some milestones to hit. So we've got tiered giveaway. We're currently just ticking over 50 subscribers.
Yes.
Thank you very much to all of those 53 people that are currently subscribers. Go away, tell your friends to subscribe, like the podcast.
Get your mum, get your dad, sign your nan up.
By the time we record episode 5 in a week to 10 days, if we have hit 75 subscribers, we're gonna add one of the cold foil pre-release promos to the giveaway.
Yeah.
Whoa.
If we hit 100 subscribers, we're gonna add the other cold foil pre-release.
No way. So 75 we'll do Ray of Hope, right? Because it's hopeful. Okay. And then when we get to 100, we'll eclipse existence.
We eclipse even that with an amazing other card. Oh, that's a fantastic giveaway. There can't be more.
Wait.
Surely there can't be more than that.
When we get to 125 subscribers, the playmat will be in play.
Oh, wow.
That will be 125 subscribers will be the marker for the playmat.
Yeah.
And if we don't hit that by the time we do episode 5, then it will roll over to episode 6, all right?
Nice. Yeah, all right. Yeah, solid.
However, as with any good Kickstarter project, there's going to be a stretch goal.
What?
Oh.
There's going to be a stretch goal.
No way. 1,000?
Now,
PewDiePie levels. I want to get PewDiePie subscriptions.
Not even 1,000, I don't think, right?
if we hit 175
You made that up.
he just added another 25.
Yeah, he said they went 163.
It was
Do you want me to bring it
150 in
down?
the
Do you want me to
script.
bring it down to 150? Should we get 150?
Let's do
No,
175 now.
I'm gonna be a true meme here, right? If we get 169 subscribers,
All right, Rudy.
if we get 169 subscribers, we will throw out drum roll, Simon. What have we got?
Cold Fall Crazy Brew promo.
Oh, for our
That's-
drinking beverage lovers.
Actually, a really, really good prize.
That is nuts.
Yeah, it's
That is
quite
absolutely
huge.
nutty. And I think that's such a good one to throw out because, as you probably know, we all like to have a beverage when we're doing this recording. So 169 subscribers.
We have the craziest brews here on Push the Point podcast. So
Well, you do.
if you do wish to have a crazy
So-
brew,
Yeah, to be eligible for the giveaway. So there will be 4 random giveaways. So each of those 4 prizes will be given to a random subscriber on the podcast. So to be eligible, you need to subscribe to the podcast
Mm-hmm.
cool.
and you need to comment on episode 4 on YouTube, and you need to give us a reason why you love the Flesh and Blood community. Because we're
Okay.
all about community here at Push the Point, all right? So you need
It's
to
true.
tell us why you love the Flesh and Blood community, and you need to subscribe to our podcast. And a big thank you to Living Realms, who are offering a playmat and a Cold Fall Crazy Brew for this giveaway.
Yeah, thanks. A huge thanks to Fabio for, we reached out to Fabio and he offered more than what we asked for. I think he'd be happy for us to say that, and it's absolutely fantastic. And Living Realms have been a fantastic support of the game for a really long time, and huge kudos for them for giving you guys some prizes to win, because we're going to give them away. And let's see if we can get up to 169 subscribers on the old YouTube channel, which would be amazing.
If we get to if we're going to do another one of these, it's got to be 420 subscribers.
420, yeah, we can
420. Yeah, we've got to do a 420 subscriber. I'll give you a bit of me. No. This whiskey's kicking in.
Hamish is going for the ASMR podcast.
No,
Oh, dear.
if we reach 420, we'll
no, I
do
don't
an
know.
ASMR podcast.
Right, we're going to move on because this has descended into
We've
chaos.
We've really gone off the rails here.
We've got too into our own hype. We're buying in.
Oh my god, an ASMR
right.
of opening packs. First, you like this. First edition.
No, don't. I've got in-ear headphones in. This is too much for me.
When they talk about the crinkles.
Oh, God. Don't.
Right, we're moving on. The next
Oh, these giveaways have got me going.
The next section of our wonderful podcast is handing over to Dan Tripp and Fyendal's Library.
Yeah, let's take it down. Let's take it chill it out a little bit. So we're gonna do my Prism video, a little extract from my Prism video, which is my most recent video, and just to quickly say thanks to everyone who has subscribed to my channel and has been and some really kind comments on that Prism video from people that enjoyed my videos across the Monarch release as well. So I just want to say a huge thank you to anyone who's left a kind comment on the videos as well. So let's cut now to a continuation of my voice, but in my Prism video instead. So to understand Prism, we first need to talk about the Library of Illumination. This is a library within Solana, and it's described as a beacon for scholarly pursuits within Solana. Many travel to Solana solely for the purpose of visiting this library. It's described as a labyrinthine complex, and it's at the base of the Solarium, which is the grand building at the centre of the city that you can see in many of the artworks. All the gates of the city of Solana lead to this grand building in the middle, and the library sits at the very base. It's a place that any Solanian may enter, and it seems that many people seem to enjoy walking its corridors, not necessarily to learn, but maybe just to reflect, to walk around in peace. We saw Bolton do this when he was struggling on what the next step of his journey should be. He came to the library and he walked around its corridors, and that's where he heard Prism talking about the heralds, which we'll get to in a second. So only the uppermost level of the Library of Illumination is open to the public. There are lower levels that are only available to members of the Light of Sol. Only they may enter these lower levels. And it was deep within the library's inner sanctum, in a mysterious place, a mysterious vault which is called the Signaris, that a Magister came across a young child named Prism. We're not given the name of the Magister, but their appearance is very similar to the one found on the mentor card, the Librarian, suggesting that this Magister was the Librarian, or later gained that title. Or that could just be another general term for the Magisters who work within the Library of Illumination. But whatever the case, the Magisters of Solana are described as all being baffled by the girl. She remembered nothing of her past, and the only clue was a glowing sphere that she carried. And this sphere was described as an ancient relic of Solana. We should also talk about the relevance of this girl being found in the Signaris. The Signaris is described as a concealed vault deep underground, and it's guarded by physical defences and powerful wards, and it's a place that hides many powerful artefacts. Prism's story tells us that she was found within the Signaris. The story reads, she was at odds with the ancient tomes and hidden secrets which surrounded her, yet in spite of her mysterious appearance within the Signaris, she appeared to be entirely ordinary. So it was just this little girl that they found in and amongst all these ancient artifacts, and she herself was playing with an artifact that she then carried around with her, and it was a sphere. It said that it contained a single drop of arc light, which is an incredibly rare gift of Sol. And presumably this artifact wasn't in the vault before, because the Magisters, they don't say that Prism found this artifact. She's just stated to just have been holding it, and it's like it belongs to her, and that she brought it with her wherever she came from.
Having talked about the legendaries, I think something has cropped up from our box opening this week, and we mentioned that someone's been collecting data. So Shin has just sent me his latest numbers.
Ooh.
It's interesting. From the UK community, he's combined data for nearly 116 box openings. And he's put some percentages together for us. And thanks again, Shin, because this is awesome to have. If you are looking at a Fable, your percentage per box of opening a Fable is just over 4%.
Really?
4%. So to open one box within our community, people have had to open average of 23 boxes.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Because
that's less than it's meant to be, right? Because isn't it meant to be 1 in 40 boxes for a Fabled historically has been the...
historically. So maybe we as a community have been lucky.
I think we have been lucky.
It gets more interesting. I think with the number opened being so low, it's easily skewed. So let's look at something that's maybe a bit more prevalent. So Cold 4 Commons, they reckon there's nearly a 90% chance per box to open a Cold 4 Common. So
that makes sense, right? And also,
that makes sense.
I found that in the 2 boxes where I opened a legendary, I didn't get a Cold 4 Common. So that probably accounts for some of that as well. So it seems like it's very unlikely to open a box and not get any cold foil. You're either going to get a cold foil common, I guess a cold foil majestic as well, but that's really quite unlikely as well, or a cold foil legendary. Though I don't know about you, Hamish, but in the box that I got the Fable in, I did also open a cold foil
No, I didn't.
in that one.
No, I didn't. I just got the Fable in there. And just to note as well, my brother picked up a first edition Monarch and got no cold foils.
Interesting. But I think people want to know that, right?
And also I guess just to touch on the Cold 4 Commons, they are quite a good way of immediately recuperating the money you invested in a box if you bought it at retail. If you don't care about cold foils, if you don't care about cold foils, you can basically sell it for about twice the price of a box. So you can kind of get your money back and then some.
Which is crazy, right? Because I remember when Alpha, Welcome to Wraith, and first edition Arcane Rising were on the market, and the Cold 4 Commons were selling for $10 each.
Yeah.
No one wanted the Cold 4 Commons. And then you actually realise that the Cold 4 Commons in in rarity are actually almost as rare as the sort of Rainbow Foil Majestics. In each Cold Foil common, there aren't that many, so they are rarer than people think. However, between the Fable and the Cold Foil common, we have this sort of muddied ground now. There used to just be the legendary Cold Foils. However, we now have legendary Cold Foils, majestic Cold Foils, and a Rainbow Foil extended art group. So the majestic Cold Foils include the Luminaris, the Hexagore, the Dread Scythe, the Galaxy Black, and which one am I missing?
I think that's it. I think there's only four.
There's Raiden or Raiden.
Oh, Raiden.
Oh, Raiden.
Oh, yeah,
Dustbane.
Raiden. Yeah.
Of course, Bolton. You should know that, Hamish.
I did. I just
You
looked
traded
and I got
for
one. Oh yeah.
And then-
I got rid of it so
and
quick. I
then-
forgot it exists.
In the extended art category, we have an extended art Luminar Ascension Rainbow Foil. These are all Rainbow Foil. An extended art Herald of Erudition, an extended art Mark of the Beast, and an extended art. No, that's the Galaxy Black.
It's the
So
alt
that is
art
the-
Galaxy Black.
That is the alt art Galaxy
Which
Black.
comes in
for
cold
the,
foil only.
Yeah,
Cold
so
foil only.
for some reason,
Wow.
and fair enough, the people are doing the stats. I think it's fair enough, but that's the alt art Galaxy Black is getting sort of included with the extended arts, which is a bit weird because it's not
Yeah.
a rainbow foil, and it's also not an extended art, and also it's not it's an equipment piece.
So
and
technically, Chain doesn't get a rainbow foil
No,
extended
No,
art
he's got
technically, but he got
but-
something a
but-
little bit
art
more juicy.
cold foil.
I imagine.
yeah, that actually then that cold foil Galaxy Black is going for more than the extended arts are. So it does seem to be that might be a little bit rarer, but it's hard to say at this point.
And from Shingo's numbers, from 115 boxes, it takes 6.5 boxes opened to get an extended art.
Which is almost exactly what I got, because I got one from 6 boxes and some
one
previous-
box off.
It takes 4.5 boxes to open a Cold Foil Majestic,
Didn't get any of those.
but it only takes 2.25 boxes to get a legendary. So
Wow.
actually,
Yeah,
the rarest of the extended arts, that followed by the Cold Foil Majestics, and then the legendaries are actually more common than both of those categories, as per the numbers that Shingo has collated so far.
and I just wanted
Um,
to say, I think that's absolutely fantastic, because we've had this big conversation last episode about legendaries and whether they're too rare. And it actually seems like almost like LSS knew we were going to say that. And it seems
Well,
like
way ahead of you.
actually the L's are becoming less rare, and the cards that are in the highest rarity are pure vanity cards, right? They're alternative art, they're extended art, or they're fabled, which I think is great. And it may be LSS is actually trying to gradually move in that direction and making the L's more accessible to the players by making it more likely that you'll pull one in a box. And
They're
that's
not the
like
chase cards anymore.
No, they're not, and that hopefully will also make the price of the L. We've already seen the price of the cold foil L's, especially Eclipse and Doomsday, go down pretty low. There's still quite a premium on Footsteps and also Husk, and I think Husk is a very, very playable card. So that probably
What about the
explains it.
Dynamo?
Dynamo, I'm not so sure. Actually, when I was looking at Teclo cards, again, big plug to Teclo cards because I bought some cards for them at a very good price. Some Majestics at a very good price. It was at a similar price to the Doomsday and the Eclipse. So I don't know if that's not seeing as much play. It seems like a really good card for Bolton and Kasai in Blitz. And not really for Durantia because you want your go again boots. But it's still interesting to see that the price of the L's, even at the cold foil level, is going down. And I wonder if we'll see that when Unlimited comes out, that actually the L's go down in price even more, which would be really good if you could start picking up L's for, dare I say, even 50 quid? I don't know, that might be too much to ask for. But
Maybe what in Unlimited? In Unlimited,
in Unlimited?
yeah,
Maybe
so
Eclipse and Doomsday, maybe?
that's fine. I'll be happy with that because they're cards
So I
that you
think
kind of need.
This discussion about chase cards is really interesting, and I think it's almost like LSS have put lots of thought into all of this, which is amazing.
What?
But we are now hearing stories from New Zealand, because New Zealand, their whole first edition Monarch stock is stuck on container ship somewhere. They're waiting for first edition to be delivered. And with the calling events in June lined up in Australia and New Zealand, LSS made the decision to get Unlimited to market first, which I think is a fantastic step to get people playing with the cards so they could get ready for these big events. And what we're hearing so far is that these extended art cards do not exist. We know cold foils don't exist in Unlimited, but these extended art cards also do not exist in Unlimited. So that makes them true vanity cards for collectors that are super rare, but it doesn't impact the playability of the cards.
Yeah,
literally.
it's fantastic.
I think I generally think it's the best approach. You don't want to make utility, like literally what we discussed about in episode 3, about making cards that bring character and utility. That is the chase card. They've now made, well, let's give that as a bit more of a bit of a flesh out, and let's just make cards that people can get in utility quite easily into a version that they can't get, and that doesn't change anything. We're not, yeah. Oh, I don't know.
Wrap it up, lads. Let's wrap it up.
Let's wrap this shit up.
Can you tell we've done this late on a Friday night?
It's so late. It's almost 10.
with a
I won't
few
tell
goalies.
the time.
Okay. I'm gonna. We'll let's.
Hamish is almost closing his eyes. He's almost
Hamish is
asleep
sleeping.
on the job.
No, right. Tripp's right. Give us your comments, give us your feedbacks, and we'll bring this up in the next episode. And I'm blaming you, fucking Hamatron, Jason, for telling me how good Jack Daniels is with lemonade, because it is really, really good. And yeah.
Well, thank you for joining us. Simon, do you want to send us off into the
Thanks for listening. Go and like and subscribe. Don't forget we're going to have a giveaway in the next episode, and make sure you spread the word, get your friends to subscribe, and the more people subscribe, the better prizes you win.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
See you guys next time on Push the Wood.
Bye.
Later.